We'll call this meeting Wichita County Commissioner Court order. Everyone please rise. This time, who's doing it? Commissioner Mahler's doing the invocation.
Let me get my mic.
God will hear you
I was
anyhow.
going to say, I may have yours, Judge. It doesn't seem to work. We didn't do that. Pray with me.
They all work.
Yeah.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come together today to do the business of the citizens of Wichita County. But we're very mindful that there are rights and there are wrongs and there are correct directions to head, and we ask for your guidance in making the right decisions that affect so many people. Lord, we want to thank you for a beautiful day today. We want to thank you for the inspiration that memorial to our fallen officers here in Wichita Falls brought to us this morning as we sat through that presentation. Just remember that life is fragile. It only lasts for a moment, and we better make the best of it while we can. And we ask you to remind us of that day in and day out. God, we ask that you bless this county family. Please heal those who are sick and hurting, and certainly be with us as we go about our daily activities. Thank you for the men and women that protect us and take on the uniform of this country and work for us not only locally but globally. Thank you for our first responders and the people that rush in to the scene of danger while the rest of us will flee. Thank you for your peace, your love, and your consideration. And we ask all these things this morning in the name of your precious Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Join me in pledge allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the Texas pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. Take seats, please.
Take, we'll let keep Bob Hampton pause before he says Texas.
Make
No
no
comment.
No comment.
No comma.
There's no comment.
There is no comma.
Well, that's in the under God part, right? In the U.S. pledge. But we all have done that. We put that comma in there.
You get in that rhythm.
Yeah.
Because you do it with passion. That's what it is.
Is
Absolutely.
that it? Okay. Never mind. All right. We're going to do a presentation of a service award for, 10 years. He didn't look old enough to be here that long. But
I don't know, the signs are starting to get gray. No, go back. Melvin, you're not gonna come up and give it to him?
well, Melvin, Chief, y'all want to be part of this? All right.
He can handle it.
He can definitely. These mics are too hot.
All right. You ready? I'm ready. All right. Certificate of appreciation. This certificate is presented to Brian W. Connor for 10 years of service to Wichita County. Congratulations on reaching your milestone service anniversary. Through your hard work, dedication, and quality, Wichita County is able to provide quality service to the citizens of Wichita County. In honor of your service, we are pleased to offer you a choice of anniversary awards. Please accept your gift as an expression of our gratitude for the contributions you continue to make every day. On behalf of the Commissioners Court, we commend you for your service and with your every success as you continue your career toward your next milestone. Your commitment to Wichita County is deeply appreciated. Signed this 31st day of October 2018. We've been a little delayed in getting there. Bob, did you deliver that in the mail to us? Was that how that? All right. It is signed by Chief Choate and Sheriff Duke. Congratulations, Brian. I just want to say, when your position you came on, I thought, I don't know whether it's going to work. You have done amazing things, and your commitment to things you and Officer Joyner do to promote Wichita County and the reputation of the Sheriff's Department is greatly appreciated. Really. Would you like to say anything?
Thank you. No, about time. No.
All right.
Melvin, you're right. We had a deal for military shepherd, well, it was the military roundtable. And we listened to a presentation where people are trying to get out of the military, people like the law enforcement and stuff like that. And Commissioner Beecham, did you give them a
I gave them the human resources to get more.
Yeah, I work with the transition department on that basis quite a bit.
TAP?
Yes.
Yeah,
Transition Assistance Program.
yeah, yeah.
I work with them quite a bit.
And they thought it was a great idea, not just for law enforcement, but for the whole county
Yeah.
positions and stuff like that. There's professional people out there that.
Them and the Texas Association of Veterans are really
Good
good.
resources.
Yeah.
Cool.
Brian, you're a reservist, right?
National
Oh,
Guard.
National Guard, okay. So you're still active though, I mean, you get sent on whatever still.
Yeah, so just did 5 weeks in Mississippi, which was fun.
Wow.
Ooh. At least it wasn't in the summertime full of mosquitoes.
Okay, thank you very much. Jim, I would ask we move along this morning. We're starting later, which I'm glad we did for attending that memorial ceremony. The second thing is I have a mediation hearing to prepare for it a little after 1. So, all right, if I could ask the court to take action on the consent agenda.
So moved, Judge, it's a lengthy consent agenda. It's
Yes, sir.
cleaning up a lot of stuff that needs to be cleaned up, but that's my motion as presented.
Second.
Is,
Oh, Judge,
yes,
I'm sorry, I need to make a change on item number 10. Those amounts need to be $51, not $551.
well, that's an
You're
improvement.
kidding me, 51 for those parcels? And is that Skyline Development, Skyline Developers, do y'all know?
Talk to Steve Bowler about it.
So it's only $51?
Yes.
Okay. All right, and I thought I'd marked that. Okay, is the one on here, I lost it, I'm sorry, on the court order to be modified?
Number 16?
No, ma'am. I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah. Well, I did want to ask about the purchases that were made for raincoats and things. Do we assign those to people? How
We
is it?
do, when they leave, we get those back.
Okay, that's-
And eventually, of course, they're plastic, so they do wear out,
Well, they tear,
tear, they just get brittle after a while.
yes.
Okay, item number 3, Commissioner Watts. How did we wind up going from 4,000 approved for that to 6,000?
Judge, we changed up the fuel tanks on there and had to go to another pump. We don't carry any gasoline any longer in the yard, and we're kind of limited with that. And I made him reconfigure the tanks on that truck when I saw what we were doing just with the diesel, and I made him feed his own truck out of that gas tank, the auxiliary gas tank, and put a pump on it for our pumps or any of gasoline stuff we need out. We have to carry it in barrel or something different because we don't have anything for that.
We've got about 4 or 5 gallon cans that we do. It sloshes and spills everywhere.
That's why I did leave.
Okay,
So it made me reconfigure, Judge, the toolbox and the 2 tanks, and I had an extra pump on there that I wasn't, when it came in and I looked at what he'd done, I wanted to change it. I just wanted to be more efficient with it.
Okay.
I had Pete look at that and go over those.
So he's
changes.
carrying both diesel and gasoline as fuel to fuel other vehicles?
Yes, sir.
Yes, 2
How much total fuel does that then mean?
Say that again.
How much?
On each side, I think.
It is, and I moved the pumps across from one another so we wouldn't confuse them, there's a left and a right.
Yeah.
Don't they have different sizes? Not,
No.
they don't have that way. So is one blue and one yellow? Do we have them painted or anything?
We have them marked, we put decals on there so you would know right at the handle, but the pumps are identical.
Just put a green sleeve on your diesel and you're good.
Yeah, well, that's.
Something, because it's gonna be, I just remember one time, my dad's brand new pickup, it was low on gas, and I grabbed a 5-gallon can out of the back, and it was diesel. He thought I'd been hot rodding it and had blown something, and once I recovered and explained to him what I'd done, it was,
Once I recover.
yeah.
The only thing that would have been worse if he'd poured gasoline in his diesel.
Yeah, that would have been,
That would have been worse. You
Well,
see his pump.
what, do you think that I can call the pump company and get them sleeves, or?
Yeah, Bailey pump.
Okay.
Right
That's
across
good.
from the old Casa Manana down
Okay.
there. That Bailey pump's got all that.
but you might find out whether you have to, whether you're carrying enough fuel, you have to mark that or
No,
not.
you don't,
You
we
don't?
checked into it.
Oh, okay. All
That's,
right,
that's
good.
why you went with that size, so that you don't have to flag
Ah,
it.
very good. Okay, thanks, sir. Okay, any other, with that one amendment to item 10 to reduce that to $51, we have a motion by Commissioner Harvey, a second by Commissioner Beecham. Any comments, anyone in the audience? Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. All right, we are down to, well, we are moving right along. General business, review and approve the regular bills for payment.
So we reviewed the bills on Friday and make a motion that we pay the same.
Second.
Commissioner Watts, were you
Yes.
seconding, or were you going to say something?
Second, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. All
You're
right.
not even on this court, you know.
Hey,
I'm too
stick to
quiet.
your subject.
Hey, look.
Check, look right there. What does it say?
He said so moved, and then he did,
No.
and then he said, then I'll
He
say.
seconded it. Marlo was sitting close. He got there.
Good, you need to prepare for.
Yeah. Can I have one in here too? All right. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 2 is discuss, consider, take action to approve the purchase of 3 Fujitsu 7160 document scanners and B&H Photo from B&H Photo at a cost of $879.99 each for the sheriff's office, with 2 to be paid for from $105.61.3108 computer supplies, or lines determined by the county auditor, and 1 to be paid from the detention center improvement fund. Ms. Cody, are you here to speak to that, or? Okay.
It's okay.
Chief.
The one, of course, from detention fund going back up to compliance, replace one, I think, lost it there. The other 2, one for, Lisa's office, for a person, we're slowly getting everything that's paper, put in a
Yeah.
computer. We're going to move everything out there. The other one goes to training office, where we start to get some files.
Okay. All right.
So moved.
Second. Gotta be quick.
Baller. I'm just gonna put it together, baller.
Call me what you want, just call me for dinner.
Yeah. Okay. Any other comments on that item? Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 3, discuss, consider, take action to authorize the IT department to purchase Tyler peripherals at a cost of up to $125,000 to be paid from Fund 403 Tyler Technology Software Acquisition Budget, or line determined by the county auditor. Now, Ms. Cole, the big bucks.
That should have been included in your packet, the list of everything, your agenda packet. I'm already over it, but if you have any questions.
This was all the stuff we went over. This is,
This is stuff we budgeted for the last, 3 times now?
yeah.
That we've rolled over every year, in anticipation of when we can go live to get every office, with all the peripherals needed to run Tyler Office.
And you feel pretty good about the order being enough to cover us, at least for a duration of time till we,
Yes, hopefully, I threw in some extra things that I added. I always round up, just anticipation of, anything that might change or price fluctuation. I feel like we're gonna come under this. I'm always willing to order the things as we need them. So I don't feel like we will be using this amount, but if I do, I will use all of it.
Okay. No, we had talked, this had been in some of our other meetings. No.
Is there not a Tyler outlet store that we can go to?
Unfortunately, no, and what makes it even worse is you can't even get it from them.
What are you gonna put the biometric scanners on?
They'll go on the computers in the jail to scan inmates in and out when they're booking in and then when they leave to verify.
Yeah,
who they
they
are.
wouldn't let us put those chips in them like you do your dogs, so.
So, same way with the wristband printer,
Yeah.
et cetera.
Yeah, so currently now what they do is they print out a piece of paper on a regular printer and they cut it out with a pair of scissors. And they sometimes laminate them and put them on the wrist. This is actual legitimate wristband printer. The wristbands come in a cartridge and they load in the top and then their picture and all their information will be printed on the wristband when they're hooked in with the barcode.
And
Not the printer, no.
Ash,
Just the.
Okay, no, that's what it was.
is our credit card devices here, when Odyssey's up and coming, they compatible with the Eagle
Yes.
cards, and so we're fairly uniform across.
Yes, we'll have actual credit card machines, not just a little card reader that we scan there. Put your chip in there, you sign, you put your PIN in.
Does that carry over to our JPs?
Yes.
So we're gonna have 15 cash drawers. I thought we were trying to get away from currency, where we didn't have money to be counted.
Well, it would only be in the jail, Lee, that I'm aware of.
No, it'll be.
It says 15 cash drawers.
I mean, every
Being cashed
cashing,
in jail.
every cashing station that we accept money is going to have a cash drawer.
Well, yeah.
I thought we decided not to accept.
No, there was one area we're talking about on
So it's some
bonds. Bonds only in the jail. That's all that was about.
When inmates leave, they get a debit card. They don't get cash or anything, or check.
Right.
Motion to approve is presented.
Second.
Any other questions or comments on that? Motion by Commissioner Beecham, second by Commissioner Watts. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, ma'am. Ashley, thanks for all you all are putting in on things. I know life is hectic right now.
Absolutely, and today marks 60 days.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, makes me nauseous every time.
Okay.
Good luck.
Thanks, Ashley.
Discuss, consider, take action to approve S&D Mechanical Contractors quote of $2,550 plus $1,000 contingency for fire sprinkler repairs at the jail annex to be paid by transfer from general fund contingency, so lines determined by the county auditor. Commissioner Beecham.
Pretty simple. This is the estimate for the repairs out there that are necessary to pass inspection. As we learned from the downtown jail, we discovered more as the work continued, so I'm asking for that $1,000 contingency on top of the estimate in order to take care of any unforeseen problems that may occur.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 5, discuss and consider take action to authorize county auditor to obtain credit card or cards for road and bridge precincts to use for paying tax assessor or collector vehicle inspection fees within guidelines established by the county auditor.
Okay, that's written incorrectly.
Oh, okay.
It's not vehicle inspection fees. It is the cost of the tags, registration fees.
How do you pay the inspection fees?
Our people bill the county auditor. We take it over there and they just send a bill in, so we're okay on that. It's getting the tags from the tax assessor collector is where the bottleneck is.
He doesn't trust you.
And this credit card would be, in my mind, you could probably just leave it at the tax assessor collector's office, you know.
could run it.
In the cash drawer, when the guys would go over there and need their tags, they could just run it on this card. This idea was brought by Judy Malone, which I thought it was a good idea. The card wouldn't have like $60 on it, you know, max. and either your precinct foreman can carry it, or I think we're just gonna give ours to Pam and put it in the. tax
So
office.
everybody would have their own card, so it,
Yes. And that way, when, you know, when our tax, our reimbursements, our registration comes due, you take it, get an inspection sticker, we can take that over to the tax assessor collector's office and give them the inspection and our renewal notice and get our tags.
I'd just soon mine be there too.
Yeah.
Why not just use one? Have y'all talked to the tax collector or assessor about this before you start doing
No,
this?
we don't need to. Either we carry our own card, pay for it every time, which is fine, but if this credit card is only for registration fees for people's.
Okay, but you talk about leaving it in there, over there. I'm just saying, that might be fine with it, and that might be the easiest way to do it, is it's not figuring out who's got the card, or where is it.
But she wants to put them on 4 different cards so she can keep up with
Okay.
who's
Who's
precinct.
pulling out of what?
Yeah. So, anyway, it's just a way that Judy thought we could streamline getting our work done without all the.
I guess we all do it different today as far as.
I don't know how you do it on your inspections. We have tried to call those people about getting our own inspection station, okay? And we'd call and left 2 messages and they would call us back. So I don't know
Okay.
what the deal is on that. But once we get that in place, we're gonna be golden.
You would need to look at, because you've got all yours coming due in the same month, don't you? So that $60 is not gonna be enough on yours.
We've got ours swapped around where they're due. And we really will need 5, because you'll need to do precinct 5 stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
We
it's a
can't
good
leave them
idea.
there, we can just leave them with Alexis and they're close enough to.
No, no, we're not leaving them at the courthouse. They're either gonna be at the place where we go get our tags or in their back pocket.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Leon can carry his back pocket if they don't want us to leave it at the tag office. It's a lot further to the courthouse for us than it is for you. It's a lot further to the courthouse for Jeff than it is for you. So I can understand why you would do that, but it's not good for us.
Well, you all can do it at your substations.
Yeah,
So,
at our substation.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Okay. Y'all work that out, but I just wanted to say before somebody walks over there and hands that to a clerk, you need to clear that with the tax assessor or with his chief. Just-
We would certainly do that. Judge.
Okay. Okay, is there a second to that?
Second.
Okay, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried 5-0.
Judge, number 2, we did do number 2.
Well, yeah.
I just was.
Motion by Commissioner Harvey, second by Commissioner Mahler, passed 5-0, voted at 11:22.
In Nana land, I guess.
Okay. Okay. Commissioner Beecham, number 6.
Not a lot to report, other than the fact that last week they had each day a safety stand down on the project. They would bring a halt to all work and bring everybody in and do a safety topic of the day. They did feed a luncheon on Thursday. Safety's been priority 1 on that job, to the point where they're giving out gift cards for exceptional safety practices. One case in point was Linda Ramsey walked on the site without her PPE, and a gentleman walked up to her and kindly asked her to remove herself from the premise without PPE, and he was given a gift card for that practice. Beyond that, rain has slowed down progress when it's rained an inch on the side every other day. They were getting behind on pours. I think they may have caught back up on Friday. I have not been out to the site this morning to check on the progress. But I happened over the weekend.
What is PPE?
Personal protective equipment.
There we go. All right. Which would consist of?
Hard hat, glasses, hand protection, hearing protection, foot.
Whatever's required in
Ear
the
protection.
individual areas, so at basic, it's hard hat and safety vest minimal. Ear protection if it's in the.
If you're operating equipment.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you something, I live my life, Judge, in the chemical plants and refineries. recognize that that construction site is a woodworker. Because it will reach out and slap you dead in the blink of an eye. And so, safety is a culture. And if you breed that into your men and women who are on your job site, they mitigate so many accidents. I mean, it's, like I said, it's a culture. And for that guy to recognize that she didn't have her PPE on and she was exposing herself to unnecessary danger, and for him to shut that down and do that, that's a good culture out there.
That's what we want to see. From an owner's perspective, that's exactly what we want to see in that project.
When you pull off a project that you could go through it and not have anybody get hurt, it feels just about as good as the check clearing the bank when you get that final check. But if you can do something as surmountable as that and not hurt somebody, that's a good day. So I'm proud of them for doing that stuff and that culture out there like that. That's the same thing that we used to do in our construction jobs and refineries, is reward people for keeping us safe.
It is definitely a culture on that job site, so very pleased with that. That's really all I have on that.
All right, so we're down to public comments. Anyone in the audience?
Just one comment, Judge and Commissioners. Last Wednesday, I believe, Commissioner Beecham celebrated a birthday. I think he 73 or something in the neighborhood, 72. But the aggravation was that Karen and Deb and I have been practicing for a month, singing a 3-part harmony for Happy Birthday, and I never did call us. So anyway, want to make sure that.
Okay, who were those?
I want to make sure that goes in the records
And
because
Karen.
And
I
Karen.
don't want anybody to forget Senator Beecham or
Senator.
Promotion, however you want to
there, obviously a Freudian slip, yeah. Either Congressman Beecham or Doris Day, so.
Could we do it now?
I was informed this morning that Doris Day passed away this morning from pneumonia.
That's right.
Oh,
97.
I
didn't realize-
I thought she was already passed away. I didn't
Bob,
realize.
that's my
more
nickname for Nancy. I think she looks a lot like Doris Day. Cute as a button, got that blonde hair, and just, I don't know, refreshing. So I call her Doris Day a lot.
Well, you know, that was one of the movies when Rock Hudson was walking out of the hotel carrying her. The two ladies saw him walking out carrying her, and she said they wouldn't believe this in Wichita Falls.
I absolutely remember that.
Yep.
Doris Day spoke about Wichita
All right.
Falls in her movie.
Commissioner Beecham.
Yeah, a couple of things. Had the distinct honor of speaking at the Fallen Officers Memorial at Allred last week. The officers behind the walls, both at our jail and at Allred, go largely unappreciated, so it is an honor to get to honor them and take a moment to pause and remember those who gave their lives in line of serving behind bars. To take care of us, keep us safe. Also, another group that goes largely unnoticed, you think of collegiate football, you think of things like Alabama. You think of collegiate basketball, you think of Texas Tech now, but North Carolina, and Duke. We have in our community something equal and par with that. Midwestern State University has won 13 consecutive conference titles in cycling. Now,
Is that a sport?
it is a sport. It is a international sport. We are feeding international cyclists from Wichita Falls.
Well, aren't those cyclists really skinny? They don't eat much.
They don't eat much. They actually eat a lot. Now, we're not talking a conference with little colleges.
Yeah.
We are talking Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Baylor, Rice, LSU, Temple. That's the conference they're in. Not only that, this past weekend, a young man by the name of
Pass that
Zach
to Nancy,
Gregg
please.
won national championship in road cycling.
Wow.
He destroyed the competition by 2 minutes and 40 seconds on individual time trials to do that. 2 minutes and 40 seconds on a time trial is a huge win. That's massive.
Wow.
So he's an MSU student, lives here in Wichita Falls.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we honor him?
Working on that. He's
That's awesome.
he's riding a bunch of events over the next few weeks, but I'm working on that. So that's not the first national champion we've had from Midwestern, but he won that over the weekend at the National Collegiate Championships. So, and the team did quite well as well. I don't have the full standings of where they finished, but they usually place in the top 3 or 4 nationally. So we can be very proud of MSU cycling team. Represents our community very well.
Commissioner Harbert.
I had the honor and privilege of attending the Texas A&M graduation on Friday. My niece graduated, one of 41 students graduating from Midwestern State University with a biochemistry degree. I learned a lot about A&M's graduation. They have 6 of them, and they graduate over 10,000 students every year. Absolutely amazing. Pretty impressive stuff. It was good. It was really good. Coming up, the Redneck Culinary Academy is going to be cooking for the cancer survivors. May 28th. Get that out. Get an email out to all our guys. And on May 31st, we're going to do a fundraiser for one of our retired firefighters here in Wichita Falls. He has stage 4 cancer, and John Reese has asked if we would do something and honor him, and so that's on May 31st. We'll work out the details.
Okay. Commissioner Moller.
Good news yesterday at church. Our church in Owl Park is the community food pantry for Owl Park. And due to the fact that several organizations had food drives over the last few weeks, as well as the Postal Service did the food drive last week, we now have that food pantry stocked that will probably carry us through the summer. So that's good news for that community. A lot of people stepped up and made that happen. There are so many things that these communities do, and organizations and churches and others do that nobody ever knows about. But they sure make a difference, and it's a good way to do business, and I'm just proud that food pantry's been stocked, and now we'll be able to serve some folks that need some help, so good news.
Commissioner Mahler, whenever we went to pick up the bacon for the hog hunt, the plant manager there, Dane Bonfire, I told him I was apologizing because I felt like I was wearing him out, getting so much bacon from him. He said, "Oh no, Lee, we love doing this." He said, "We also support our food banks."
Yeah.
And
They're vital.
How do they hold that?
I don't know, but I've got him hooked up with Grace Ministries, and Wright's Bacon is now donating bacon to families through Grace Ministries. And I'm sure that he would support your food bank in Wichita Falls area food bank also. That's just, when you give somebody a pound of bacon, you're just telling them you love them. You know what I mean?
Well, do y'all have refrigeration or freezer space?
Yes, we do. We have refrigeration and freezers
I
at
never
Grace
thought about
Ministries.
that.
Yeah.
Can we send a pound of bacon to Iraq?
Yeah.
They might send it back. But anyway, that's a good deal if people need to reach out to Dane and get on their list. Tyson is all in to help our food banks. And nobody ever thinks about giving anybody bacon.
We don't. A lot of times we take for granted what our service clubs and churches and organizations do. They do a lot in these communities to make life better. And everything that gets done on a volunteer basis is less that some government agency has to take care of it. It's so much more efficient. It's so much more efficient when it's done out in the private sector. So that's good news. All I've got. Good.
All right, thank you, sir. Commissioner Watts.
I wanted to make mention on the agenda in the consent item, we're advertising to sell some rollers, if y'all are interested and you want to take a look at those, they're just not usable for us without a great deal of manpower to get them moved. They just, they're no rubber tire wheels on them, and they have to be hauled.
Barbecue pit out on
You could, it's just gonna take a lot of oxygen acetylene to get the tops cut out of them, and the family won't be able to move it. You'll have to get the neighbors to help too. So I bought a wheel at the auction we had to make a base for a walker, and it's just all we can handle. And not a good way to get a hold of them either. So, but we've got that. So if anybody's looking, one of them's dual wheeled or tandem drums, and one of them's single drums. They just both pull behind tractors. So.
We're having an auction in October.
but not delivered.
Do what?
We're having an auction in October. We're just going into the city of Burkburnett. So anybody that wants to put anything in the auction, we're more than welcome to do that there.
And I was telling Lori this morning, I called, I understand why there is no place conducively to go get your TSA priority stuff, which is, they said the credit card transaction's longer than the process, but the fingerprinting as well. TSA contracts with, y'all knew the name of the company here, y'all told me, and that's what who I was.
We got our fingerprint.
Indento or Indentigo or something?
Yeah, Identico. And so, anyway, I told Lori I'd do the legwork and seeing if there was anything involved there at all that made any sense that could bring in revenue for us in conjunction with the passport function. And
Well, it makes sense.
it does make sense, because you can't, everybody has to go off to Dallas or to Lawton to get that. And then the latest and greatest fingerprinting might be cool as well. So anyway, I did finally get through after a tedious process of making contact there, and so we'll see what follow-up they have with us. With Weldon, Schrum being, we have lost got a huge hole in our group that we took, not for granted, but that we just had always expected to be there, I guess, to pull us out of a crimp. And I don't know what that answer is. Most Weldon dropped what he's doing and come to us at whatever we needed. Do y'all have somebody that we're using mobily that can be?
Well, we use a guy named Willie Honeycutt in Burke. He has his own big service truck. He used to work for Warren Cat.
Mobile?
Mobile, yeah. And then
He's out of Burke. He's office.
He lives off on Fawn Road out there.
Okay.
He don't really have offices. His office is that truck.
Okay.
He lives, do heavy equipment, bulldozers, maintainers, big tractors. And then also there's a resource through Warren Cat to call.
Yeah, and we do. They're kind of
pricey.
Yeah. So I
Well,
try.
where Weldon came in is there's so much of this older stuff that we've got. He was the guy that
Yeah.
would sort it out.
Get
We
right
used
to
him
it.
on our old roller, and it would have pretty much been a throwaway deal had he not been able to rescue it. And he was just a great resource, and Weldon is gravely ill right now, not doing well. We'll get into the details, but
Jeff, I would check with Mike Gilbert also. I think he has a mechanic over there, works for him,
Okay.
that, fixes all that stuff he buys.
Okay.
Ready.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you might check with Mike.
Okay. The Lexus and I finished the list of, everybody gave us their VINs and makes and models. I'm fixing to send that in, so maybe shortly I'll have an update for you of what truck program potentially could look like if we decided to go down that road. And other than that, Judge, I think that's everything I have.
All righty. We do have court tomorrow. We have budget. It's starting at 9 a.m. And we're going to talk about insurance, reports from commissioners on individual meetings, general fund revenue, and then receive comments or updates from the elected officials and our staff, and a discussion with Lance Liggett, District Coordinator, Texas Division of Emergency Management, on some disaster funding resources. Yeah. So we may find something to help us on our bridge problems there. Friday court, I will be gone to Boston for Zach and Chelsea's graduation from law school. We're kind of excited about that.
I'll be gone too, but I sure wish I was going with you instead of where I'm going. Colonoscopy.
Do we just have bills, correct?
That's all that's on the bill, so.
And then the schedule this week, Tuesday, I know it's tomorrow, but is there some Wednesday and Thursday budget, Nancy?
No, because.
Only Tuesday?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've got court Wednesday morning,
Okay.
juvenile court, and so then I'll be out Wednesday afternoon, Thursday, and Friday.
Okay.
And it's interesting. I'll be able to tell you a lot about, and you probably got that from your little trip to Ohio too, of dealing with Uber and taxi cab, and listen to all these rate reports, because Zach has advised us we take taxis from the airport in because the Uber drivers can't get into the airport. Then you go back, and which one of them is the dirtier? They've done some germ testing, and so. I don't know.
Well, I would have done that, Judge, if I'd have known that I was in such close proximity to where I was going. We'd have probably it would save me that rental hassle that early morning getting out of there.
Yeah.
Boston's subway system is pretty efficient. It works
Yeah.
pretty well. You can get from the airport anywhere in town pretty quickly.
Yeah, but they have suggested it's not very far from where they live, so that could be easier, faster.
With
Go by Cheers and say hello to Nora.
Yes, yeah. Went to the probate conference last week in Lubbock, and just an exceptionally good conference, good information. Brought back a 3-ring notebook that thick with different information and all. And then there were 5 sheets of possible changes to the estates code listed.
Oh,
in
no.
I'm not sure how you keep up with all of it.
Did Mrs. Patterson go with you?
No, she didn't.
I didn't get those changes. We didn't on our side.
5
Yeah.
possible changes.
5 sheets of possible changes. Now, part of that was the listing, the index in there, and I don't know what's going to come out, and that was the that last session, and I left to go get on the conference call with the Judicial Committee on Information Technology. And last time that worked all but for about 20 miles between Lubbock and Wichita Falls, and it wouldn't last for 5 minutes yesterday. Friday, I called in 6 or 7 times, and it, for some reason, wasn't working.
And thin out there, doesn't it?
Yeah, so you never know whether they are. The other thing I want to tell you, all were aware of some problems we had with the local workforce solutions audit, and the executive director, who had been there a long time and had done great things at the time of leading that, but kind of lost her eye on the ball, turned in her resignation and is retiring from there. The new interim director is Jill Brown, a lady out of Dallas that's been a prior director and was recommended by the Personnel and Texas Workforce Commission in Austin. Each commissioners or each county is involved with that, and through Nortex we appoint the members to that board, and Commissioner Harvey is one of the new members, but opted a much more important decision. Instead of being there last week, they had enough, but certainly you're going for your
Niece's
graduation at A&M. Well, that had precedent by far. And, okay.
My sister would have killed me if I hadn't showed up.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Judge, on that, on Workforce Solutions, are you?
Yes, sir.
And I thought I had read where you, by election, are also on the Texas Workforce Board?
No, sir. No.
You're,
I'm not on the Workforce Solutions, a local board, but I am chairman of the CEO, what they call it, Chief Elected Officials Organization, that is made up of the mayor of Wichita Falls and the 11 county judges in Nortex. And some of our duties include appointing those board members.
I'm a board member in a private sector.
Yeah.
Not as a commissioner.
Yeah.
but we're talking about workforce. I'm confused. I thought,
Unemployment office.
okay, had in my mind, that's what I had in my mind, but I thought you were reporting on the people that rent from us on Armory Road.
No.
No, that's
Work services.
Work
Okay.
Services
Work services.
Corporation,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
By
Close.
the way, we did some math, Judge, at the meeting. They have absolutely, definitely completed 17 billion paper clips.
Which was, how many trips did we determine was around the equator?
26, okay, here's the math on it, which was really interesting. 17 billion, we decided that each paper clip was 2 inches long. Okay, it's just a rough estimate. So we divided that, or multiplied that by 2 inches, and then we divided it by 12 inches to get feet. And then we divided it by 5,280 to get miles, okay? And then we decided that the circumference of the earth via Google was just shy of 25,000 miles. So if you put those paper clips end to end around the earth, you would have went around the earth 21.46 times. That's a lot of paper clips.
You know, and I've seen, now I didn't see it when I was in college with paper clips, but I did see it with those tab tops, people making pretty long chains with them.
Very true. That's back whenever you had to pull it off. And
Yeah, pull it off, yeah.
Stick it together and you fold it over. I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah, two of my fraternity brothers were going to California and got stopped, and the highway patrolman was not impressed with their tab top little chains from one clothes rack thing to the other, you know.
Well,
You're right.
So
Yes, sir.
Lee, we'll be expecting some legislation to come out quickly from a director's point of view on a more friendly workforce solutions. Today, and just my personal opinion, but if you're an employer, you've got it. You've been hammered, and you're hammered before you walk in.
Yeah.
You're guilty before you're proved innocent.
But now this group that we appoint to only deals with the operation of the office here. It doesn't, that's a different group that does the hearings. This side is trying to promote jobs in the 11 county Nortex area. But there's a strong feeling after this financial penalty was nearly assessed onto the counties in the city of Wichita Falls that they're not sure they want to stay in this deal anymore without getting, one, we're looking into insurance that would protect all of the members, including Nortex. And I think if it's going to continue, that's going to be a requirement. If that's not in place, then I look for us to notify the governor's office we're out of it.
Well, is there a place today that I can go and view a list of potential employees?
Yes, at the,
Kind of like a,
it's still out at the Galaxy Center. Now they're eventually consolidating everything down here in the big blue building.
They're on the east side of the Galaxy.
but that's something I can go online and look at resumes or look at potential candidates?
I'm not 100% sure, but I think,
I don't know about that.
I don't know if they've gotten it that far. It's unfortunate they don't have it that way, if that's the case. But we will probably have something with the new interim director fairly soon and kind of go through, because I think all of us have had a little bit of an eye-opening that we've got to monitor that closer.
Right.
And Lee Ritchie is doing a tremendous job as the board chairman for that. So, all righty, it is 11:50, and we're adjourned. I appreciate you.